Welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse where myself, Hoppocalypse and DPayne.
Hello. Oh, wait. I have it right here. Book. It's hello in Croatian.
We get together. We're two streamers that like to discuss topics that you guys get to vote on together as a community. For October, we have our special Halloween episodes where we're talking about various Halloween monsters. This week, we're talking about ghosts. But before we jump in, I think DPayne, you notice we have some new listeners.
Yes. I'm just reading the next link. I'm like, this is gonna be fun to say. Next link. Yeah. So Australia, all you listeners from down under, thank you for listening and giving us a listen. Yeah. So there's that. I guess the other announcement we can share at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun announcement later.
So, yeah, make sure to stick around for that. But to just do a refresher for any newer listeners, we have the topics. We talk about our most favorites and least favorites in them. So this week, like I said, we're talking about ghosts. And we roll dice to see the order that we talk in. And usually we roll d20s because we're more familiar, or at least I'm more familiar with like the D&D 5e system, which uses d20s. And DPayne played Pathfinder. But for Halloween, to also add on to the theming, we're rolling dice as if it's Call of Cthulhu, which is a D100, and aiming low, golf scores.
Yes. Or if you aren't familiar with Call of Cthulhu, it could also be Delta Green, which is literally the same thing, except in the modern day.
Okay.
So, rolling. Oh no. What did you get?
I got 49.
I got 67.
So I won, and your number was odd, right?
Yes, I was 2 numbers off of the internet's favorite number.
So close. But yeah.
Oh, I gotta open my list. Man, I'm so far behind today.
You good? Did you play too much Genshin Impact last night?
No.
The pause gives away so much.
I just want to Luke, dang it.
Same though.
And I don't want to spend money.
Okay, so I did put in the $5 to earn stuff on a daily basis.
I think I'm going to do that in November.
It doesn't matter, like it's not calendar month. It's just 30 days after you buy it.
It's just more something to help me keep track of it.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, so I rolled lower. So in this system, I go first, and DPayne rolled odd. So we'll be talking about our least favorites first.
Yes.
And I know.
Did we share what we're talking about?
Yes, I've said ghost twice.
Well, now you said it 3 times. Guys, if you didn't catch it, we're talking about cheese.
You've been talking a lot about cheese. Do you have cheese on the mind?
Yeah, always. So good. I want a cheesecake. But I don't want to make it. And I don't want to buy it. I just want it.
Did you go grocery shopping earlier?
Yeah.
You could have gotten a slice of cheesecake for a couple bucks.
That is very true. They're at Aldi's. Do you think they make American cheesecake? Because that's a sin on cheesecake. Okay. What's your number 1?
You mean not
Yes.
my not most least favorite?
Welcome to episode 26, guys. It's a doozy already.
I think somebody's staying up too late. Anyway.
No, I woke up too early.
Oh, so just not enough sleep, but in the other direction.
Yeah, I had to wake up before 10. And I had to go walk. Actually, I didn't have to. I chose to. It was boring.
I should start going on walks.
Or
going outside and exercising or something.
Yeah, it's not related, but yeah, I'm here.
Okay. DPayne is present, everybody.
We didn't get all this out in the beginning. We talked about serious stuff, and now my brain went boop.
All right. So when I was trying to figure out worst ghosts, I had trouble necessarily picking a worst because I was at first looking at people's favorite ghosts to get ideas to remind myself of all the different ghosts that are in media.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone had on their favorite list Pac-Man ghosts. And
Yeah. They're dumb.
no,
Sorry.
but I thought they were dumb too. I almost put them in my least favorites, but then I started reading on them. And I think what's actually interesting is the programmer actually intended them to have unique personalities. And for like the time period and the arcade cabinets, I remember playing arcade cabinets of Pac-Man, and I didn't realize that they actually had different programming to the different ghosts. And they actually have names that coincide, or they have personality names that coincide to it.
Okay. I
So
knew they all
it's,
had different names.
yeah, so it's a little bit more interesting in that. I think Blue, I think what I read was Blue always chases Pac-Man. Red and Pink will always run away, and then Orange will try to attack, but if Pac-Man turns and looks at it, then it runs and tries to pretend it's not chasing him.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, like I never noticed it, and I was like, huh, that's actually pretty interesting. So I dislike it less than I thought, because reading into it, there
I
is
still
more.
dislike them.
So my replacement for runner-up least favorite is, so I looked at Pokemon ghosts because there's so many ghost types.
I almost put a ghost type.
I thought it was a good place to start. I went with one because at first I just didn't like that the name was extremely lazy, because I feel like newer Pokemon have had worse and worse names.
Yeah,
This
like ice
one,
cream.
different Sundays. This one is called Litwick. I
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I've never personally played with the Pokemon because I really only remember like the first 150 or so. I did technically play after that, but the name I think is silly. But reading into the actual lore, like you know how they have snippets in the Pokédex, I was like, this thing is actually creepy and uncomfortable. And is this for children?
Oh, I am looking it up.
Some of the quotes are essentially the light on its candle only lights if it's sucking the life out of you, and the light lights brighter if it's sucking the life out of children, and the candle acts cute and innocent and then will start slowly sucking the life force from you.
Chat does not agree with your with your thing, with your option. Sips tea. Ain't none of my business though.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go off and
No,
say more.
I was scrolling through. It is a very happy looking child Pokemon.
Yeah, like I originally picked it because I was like the name's kind of like silly, and I don't know the moveset or anything about that. So if people say they like the Pokemon because it's got cool moves, like cool and all, but it's just I don't know. I feel like there was a writer somewhere, and they're like, remember Cubone and how he had a tragic backstory, and we wrote up on it, and it was interesting. How about we throw in something randomly edgy, like a candle that literally just kills you over time?
Yeah. It's just like it's actually the strongest Pokemon if you're like, and it's just sitting there and it's just like Litwick, what's it called?
Litwick.
Litwick, go! And then it just throws it out and it's like, and everyone's like, dude, it'd be the strongest in the Pokemon like league that Ash always loses, and just throw it in there, and then it just like he just turns and looks back at his trainer, and is like, really? Like, do it, my lad. And then it's just like,
But
it just sucks the life out of everyone in the stage, and Spirit Bombs kills everybody.
but it doesn't say it uses it for strength. I think it just I think it just does it to exist. So I don't. I guess it could be
huge.
No. Well, getting huge is another Pokemon topic because there's a Gigantamax thing that you can do in, was that Sword and Shield or the other one?
Is that the new one? I don't know. I'm reading the words that it says after. Yes, that one. I remembered.
Yeah, but I just imagine if you sent this out into Pokemon Battle and you did not have it trained, it would just kill you because it just wants to suck life force. It clearly doesn't want to battle. If it wanted to battle, it would have different taglines. Like, there are a lot of other Pokemon that are like, I want to be the strongest. I want to be the best. This one just wants to kill things.
This thing is that person on the river Styx. Okay, so in Sword, this is the description. Flame on the head keeps the body slightly warm. This Pokemon takes lost children by the hand to guide them to the spirit world. This thing is the ghost ship boy from Styx, where you gotta pay. I forget his name.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Yeah, but doesn't it just seem like I don't know? It just
Which I guess that's why it's so like happy looking.
it
So
maybe for me it just feels unnecessarily edgy. Maybe that's what it is. Because, like,
dude, this
you can look at it and you're like, yeah, it's cute. And they could have just left it at that. But then they decided, you know what? It's cute. So we should make it evil.
yeah, it needs a leather jacket. It's also got the one eye, just so I can imagine be like, hey. Hey kid, you want to go to the spirit world? Great. I want to see my mom. Too bad. Spirit world. Grab a fire.
Yeah, and I think it specifically says the light is brightest when sucking the life out of children or something like that.
Why is breeding in Pokemon? How do you breed a ghost? Ghost and fire.
Every Pokemon lays eggs. That's all I've learned.
Is it like incorporeal?
Also,
Like
it's
egg?
not actually a guide. It pretends to be a guide just so it can follow you around and suck your life out. That's another line in Omega Ruby.
Okay, so it get changed in Sword because in Sword,
Oh, okay.
it's what I read is literally the flavor text.
Oh yeah, but
I,
in Shield, here the younger the life this Pokemon absorbs, the brighter and eerier the flame on its head burns. Like it's just an evil. It's what is it in D&D? There's a monster in particular that
Lich.
like yeah, liches can do it, but there's a lower level one too where they suck your life force to heal themselves.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah. I feel like I fought one recently in one of my campaigns, but I'm blanking because we're going through a graveyard.
Do will-o-wisps? I don't know. I'm also getting mixed up between Pathfinder monsters.
They're
They're similar,
close, yeah.
but like Pathfinder normally has like an extra level of this thing is going to just wreck your day.
But no. So
Mammoth lays an egg. It's a hairball.
but yeah, so overall for me, it's just like it feels unnecessarily edgy. A lot of the other ghost Pokemon are that normal, like, oh, this is the ghost of a haunting, or this is the ghost of a spirit that is unsettled, and then it evolves into stronger ghosts. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it. Plus, they look kind of like normal ghosty things.
Now I'm confused. What's Gengar and Haunter and all them? Okay. I gotta look them up now. Start with Haunter. What is their flavor text? The funny thing is, maybe this is why I like Haunter, because it's like Haunter, gas Pokemon, not even Ghost.
I know Gengar showed up on a lot of lists of people's favorite
I did
ghosts.
see that, and I'm like, I already talked about Gengar, how cool he is. Well, rather Haunter. Let's see, where's the flavor text? Oh, in Red and Blue, this is because he's able to slip through block walls like a ghost. It doesn't say like a ghost. It's said to be from another dimension. In Yellow, it says this is Haunter, by the way, for anyone that missed me say that. Let's see. By licking, it saps the victim's life. It causes shaking that won't stop the victim's until the victim's demise.
I mean, they did that a lot in the anime. I remember that. If you licked anyone, they shook a lot. Maybe it's that it feels like the whole sucking life force thing has also already been done. Because Haunter is one of the originals. Litwick was number what?
I don't know. But
607.
I misread 607. Okay. I misread what the flavor text in Diamond said. It says it can slip through any obstacle. It lurks inside walls to keep an eye on its foes. But I misread foes because the text is small to toes.
Yeah, Haunter's number 93 and sucks the life force out of you for licking you. Litwick is number 607, and guess what? Sucks out your life force.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so apparently just don't get smooched by Haunter.
That's the TLDR.
Yeah, let's see.
Gengar has some cool other forms.
Yeah. And then Ghastly is just a ball of gas. Yeah, like pretty much this Pokemon is there's original Pokemons. Look, I never played Pokemon. Well, I have played Pokemon, but I never got very far in it.
Yeah, like Gengar also steals the life of the target.
I figured Gengar would have much more like tongue stuff. It just seems like, oh, that sounds really bad to say.
No,
Tongue stuff.
Haunter's animations and everything, his tongue's always
Yeah.
hanging out. Gengar's more like the punchy ghost.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so in yellow, a Gengar is okay, a Gengar is close by if you feel a sudden chill. It may be trying to lay a curse on you.
Ghost things.
Okay, so all the flavor text pretty much in here is like, yeah, he floats, casts curses on people, and he gets super cold. So he's great to have in the summer.
Keep your popsicles frozen.
Yep. Oh, why did I close my phone?
But yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's my runner-up ghost.
Yeah. I don't have any Pokemon on mine. All mine are pretty much in the same strain, except for this one. So I looked at them like, oh, yeah. So when I was thinking of ghost and I was doing my research on the ghost thing. Oh, by the way, were you done? I didn't. Okay, just making sure. I thought you said you were done, and then my brain's like, yo, bro, she might not be done.
Sir, I think you need more sleep.
Nah. Sleep is for weenies. So yeah, as I was looking up ghost movies and everything, I remembered a certain movie. By the way, I have runner-ups for both of these, both good and bad. I don't know if you have any runner-ups.
I did my runner-up. You said it was dumb. Do you forget already?
Oh, that was your runner. Okay.
Well, it was gonna be my runner-up, and then I have like that little like I don't hate him as much as I thought I would once I started to read into them.
And hold on, let me clarify. I wasn't saying the fact that you said it was dumb.
No, I said you said they were dumb.
Okay, the way that translated in my head was like Hop is saying that Payne is saying that what she says is dumb. Like, that is farthest from the truth. I think what I say is dumb. Yeah. So I was looking at ghost movies, and I remember this movie came out, and it actually got a couple sequels, where I had friends that really liked it. But I thought this was a really, 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 really dumb horror movie, from a multitude of things. But I'll just name drop this title here. It is Insidious.
I did not watch Insidious. I did hear a lot of like talk about it. I read a little bit about it when I was doing my ghost research, but if you could give me the synopsis.
All right. So, in short, pretty much this kid, like, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but it kind of sets up the rest of the movies from what I understand, is this kid, he's like seeing ghosts around, and it's just like, what the heck is going on? And then like the ghosts start like being able to like mess with the house. And now okay, before I go too far, there is a scene in this movie that I believe is done very well, but in my personal opinion, it does not save the whole movie. But I can share that later. So what it turns out is that this kid, he's a dream walker, and he came in contact with this demon, and this demon is like this door that is allowing these ghosts to come over into the house. And the only problem is this demon dude looks like a knockoff Darth Maul. And he's super dumb looking. And they're trying to make him look all scary and spooky, and it's like, wow. And it's like, no, guy. And then there's like another one that looks like a knockoff like Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized I wrote vampires in my stream title. Let me fix that.
Okay.
Real quick. But,
okay. So
I can talk and type. So, there we go. Okay, I can't talk and type. So pretty much they go and do this, and there's like a scene that they try to go and fix in the back like they try to go into Ghost World a little bit and fix, which is actually where one of the really cool scenes happens. Um, I will. I don't know if you plan on watching this, so I will not share that cool scene at the end because it kind of, as I said, doesn't save the movie, but it's like all creep and horror factor went into this section. But
Okay.
if you are planning or interested in watching it, I will not talk about it.
I might eventually watch it. I
Okay,
keep
then I
telling
won't.
myself that I want to go and like watch, themed movies this month, and I keep not doing it because time.
It's all good. I said I was gonna watch What We Do in the Shadows, and I didn't watch it this week. I was like, this is why I got rid of my accounts. But yeah, it's just like
So is it the all the ghosts in this movie to you are all like meh because they kind of
yeah,
feel
like
like knockoffs?
the ones that you see are pretty but there are a few that are done well. Like it's not just the ghost. It's kind of like I think the movie accidentally reveals some of its scares through the music because like it's done like every time like a ghost or something scary happens, it does this like shrilling violin music, and it just kind of goes like it goes up the scales, and it's just like and it gets really loud, and you're like, okay. And it's just like me in the way I interact with media, like after the second time I'm like, okay, this is it. um the So there is that. There is a scene like that I think is pretty cool, like not the last scene, but like I thought it was interesting because every time you do ghost stuff, it's always at night and spooky things going on. But in this one, they actually do a ghost haunting in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one's done really well because it's like it's a child ghost, and they're like, what the heck? And it's just like they kind of talk about it and are just like, yeah, he's not actually trying to hurt you, he's just like, he's a kid, he's literally just playing. These other ones, though, they're trying to mess your day up. But and so like it's just that like when I thought about this, it's like it was kind of just how it was always presented in totality of just like, here's these ghosts, and like there's one that's just having fun, and then there's these other ones that are like just being jerks. And but like, and then just like kind of how the movie presented itself, like it did not work for me. And it was just like I kind of thought like the spooky horror ones felt like knockoffs. Now it could have been because it was a child seeing these things. Now I don't know if this is true or if they go back and say this. It's been years since I watched it. Where because it was a child that was interacting with this, like they were taking his imagination of and dream nightmares, and so that's what they kind of look like. Which
Mm-hmm.
would, if that was the case, that movie just wanted a bunch of points for me.
Because they take the consideration of not just trying to scare the viewer, but put it in perspective of like, imagine if you were his age seeing these
Yeah,
things.
because
Yeah.
like the vampire-esque creature kind of looks like the Undertaker from WWE, and he's just like this big bulking cloaked thing that looks like he belongs in The Crow. Oh, I forgot about that one.
I never finished The Crow.
Me neither, but I like I sort of like the concept of it.
I like the
Anyway,
aesthetic.
hmm but yeah, so that's kind of my thing. I don't really have a lot to say about it because I'm just like it didn't hit home with me, and I know there's like Insidious like 1, 2, 3, maybe a fourth.
I think I saw a fourth when I was trying to look up like pictures of the various ghosts to get an idea of what you were talking about. I couldn't tell which ones were in which movies though, so I didn't want
Yeah.
to like comment on what any of them looked like. But I can see where you say the music thing falls flat for you. I also hate it. There's a couple horror movies that I've heard of where they choose to use no dramatic music for those parts.
hmm
I think it's I forget what it. I think it's an M Night Shyamalan one about visiting your grandmother or something.
Oh
I think I
yes.
heard that one doesn't use dramatic music, so I've been meaning to put that on my watch list to see how he handles the scares, because I feel like a lot of movies, like you said, with like the violin,
Hmm.
they scare you the first time with the violin, so then they keep playing the violin so that people are like, "Oh, I'm about to get scared," but like people like us are like, "Oh, we're about to get scared."
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like two that came to mind is Babadook, which I don't think Babadook, if it does, it's a very minimalistic soundtrack.
Yeah, I don't remember a soundtrack from that one. I do remember liking that.
I like the meme. Why can't you be normal? That's gonna be the meme coming out of this one. Hop's gonna be like, "Why can't you be normal, DPayne?" Um, and Hereditary,
I
I
haven't
think.
watched Hereditary yet. I've
Uh,
also heard people also like Midsummer, which I haven't watched yet.
yeah, I want to watch that too eventually, but I haven't got to it. I will say, anyone that is willing, that wants to watch Hereditary, um, be aware of the group you're watching with it because, like, without any spoilers and stuff, it does get into some pretty dark and some disturbing stuff in there. So if you have some sensitive people, just be aware.
Hmm.
I'm not going to give any spoilers on it, but it's just like there are a few scenes that I'm like, yeah, this wouldn't fly with everybody. But well, when you watch you got to let me know because I have a meme or two that I want to share.
Okay. But are they very spoiler
They won't make sense when you watch that when I send you the meme,
without watching? Okay.
but when you watch the movie, you're gonna be like, there might be a giggle, and then you're like, why'd you do that?
Fair enough.
So,
Yeah, I have to
um,
figure out. It's been one that I should like make time to watch. So
yeah,
many movies.
yeah, that one, it is a good one. It does. Like I remember I was over at my brother's when I was visiting Meatball Niece. Um, I realized no one's gonna realize that if they haven't listened to me stream. I visited my niece when she was like a month old and she looked like a meatball. Um, and it's before she could like she had a personality or like you're like, are you human? Like, yeah, babies are weird. But like my brother and his wife found out that like I haven't watched any horror movies. And like we're gonna watch a bunch of horror movies. So like that's when I saw The Conjuring, Hereditary. I think there was another one I watched, but I don't remember it. But like every once in a while, I'll find a Hereditary meme and I'll meme and send it to my brother, and it's always the same thing. but but yeah, it is good. Like I don't know. Look, just because, since not just because, but since you recommended me to, like, and was not pushing, but saying you should watch this, this, and this, I'm gonna say you should watch Hereditary so I can send you the
Just so you
memes.
can send me memes.
Yes, you. It's your homework this week.
This week? Oh no, that's not a lot of time.
I didn't give myself a lot of time to watch What We Do in the Shadows, and I still haven't finished it.
Oh, I was
Watch
gonna
it.
say you have a month.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. But yeah, I would suggest, yeah, give it a go.
Hmm.
Everyone, give it a go. If you're under the age of 18 and your parents are kind of super, I was about to say freaky deaky, but that's not what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was like, I was about something on the lines of freaking out about like kind of things. Yeah, don't watch it with them. Yeah. So, oh, I guess I can get my runner up because I know this is not on your list. I bet no one has heard of this character.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, my runner-up is a character called Haunt. Um, so Hop and chat and listeners beyond live. Have you heard? Are you familiar or heard of Spawn,
I think
the
I've.
comic character?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the character.
All right. So the guy who created Spawn was Tom McFar. No, that was a neighbor. Todd McFarlane. Um, And for people who don't know, like I'm a big comic nerd, so I'm gonna just comic out for a second. Todd McFarlane used to work on Spider-Man and used to do a bunch of stuff with Marvel until he kind of like he was trying to get more rights for the uh, authors and writers of the comic, um, and pretty much just like didn't very much burn bridges, but they pretty much the Marvel and DC were just saying like heck with y'all, and so he left and started Image Comics. And Image Comics is really cool, and if it still works this way, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like 90% or like 70, it's a super high percentage of the money that the comic makes goes to the creators of that comic,
Okay.
while normally I think it is like Marvel and DC, it's way less. Like it's like on it's definitely under 50%, if not like closer to 30 or under. I'm not 100% sure of the proceeds that come back from that. Um, but I don't know that side for sure. But like Image is doing that, and so Image, Todd McFarlane made that, and he created Spawn, and Spawn is like one of the longest running comics of all time. Actually, I think it is one of the like without having a reset, it is a continuous story, like for 1,000 issues.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So like not including like there's no multiverses or
yeah,
like
there's no
stuff like that.
multiverse in it. Yeah, there's no multiverse. There's no reset like how Marvel and DC do that every couple of years or so. DC's a little bit more doing that, but does that more. But yeah, so he just won like an award, I think, this year or last year of like having the longest running comic run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was at it wasn't it was in the middle of this, and he was in a panel, and this guy shoot, it's the guy who created The Walking Dead. I forgot his name.
The comic series. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with the
yeah,
name of the
and
author.
I don't have him near me, but pretty much the guy who did that. He was like, "Hey, would you ever think about making another comic series?" And he's like, "Ah, maybe not sure." And then the guy next to him's like, "That's this guy," and he's like a pretty big name in comics. And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know. You want to make something?" And they're like, "Okay," and everyone got excited. And then stuff happened. And then but then they finally made it, which it's this guy, this comic series called Haunt. And so the whole basis of Haunt is that they're um this it's twins. The one of the twins dies, um and comes back to his brother, who is a priest. And he's like, and his brother is the only one that can see him. And his it turns out his brother used to be like FBI or something like that, like some secret ops like training thing. And he was betrayed and killed, and just like he's back and now can only interact with his brother. And so because of that, they're like, okay. And I don't know how they find out, but pretty much his brother can possess the dead brother can possess priest brother. I forget their names. But when he does that, he gets this like ectoplasm suit that like overtakes him, and it's in short, he becomes Ghost Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, like he doesn't look exactly like him, but the suit is kind of similar,
And
and
he has the sticky powers because of the
he has sticky
ectoplasm.
power, yes, and but he also shoots out ectoplasm strings. Oh wow, that looks like a spider web. But
But green?
no, it's white.
Oh.
Like his whole suit is black and white, mainly white, and it's pretty much like Ghost Spider-Man, but named Haunt. In and yeah, that's it was like the concept. Like I read the first one and I'm like, this just isn't doing it for me. Like, yeah, cool, like, but I don't know. It's like it's pretty much okay. You made another Venom, except Venom's dead and related to the person. And so, um, yeah, it was just kind of silly. And then is the fact like you literally made Spider-Man without spider sense.
I also think it's funny because, like you said, the guy that writes Spawn was an artist for Spider-Man, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
so it'd be different if it was just like somebody else was like, "Oh man, I didn't even realize that it was another Spider-Man." It's like you should have,
Yeah.
you should
I,
have.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of him swinging and send it to you.
Okay, I can probably look up. So just Haunt
Yeah. Yeah.
comics.
Haunt and then write Image Comics after it, and then you can.
Okay,
It,
I
it is a very violent looking comic because Spawn is also a very violent looking comic. Like he kind of.
okay. I see the one where he's shooting ectoplasm out of his hands.
Yeah.
They don't 100% look like spider webs, but when they're like sticking to stuff, yeah, they look like
Hmm.
spider webs.
And like, yeah, it's like similar. It's similar enough.
It's close enough that you're like,
Yeah.
huh. I when I was looking up Spawn originally just to get myself a reference because I hadn't heard the name before, I just
Hmm.
saw a bunch of pictures from the Spawn movie. I was like, that's why I remember Spawn because of this weird character that they decided to put in this makeup. I don't remember ever watching Spawn the movie. I just remember seeing our pictures of that guy. I'm sure if you look up Spawn movie, you could probably tell me who the character actually is. The guy with that looks kind of like a clown but with like a
Oh,
blue face.
yep. No, he's actually a really big character in it. I'm forgetting his name, but no, he's actually in the lore. Let's see if I can find it in the
No,
article.
I'm sure he's in the lore, but it just looks weird on an actual person.
Oh yeah, no, it's he's I'm trying to remember. He's really weird looking and he's really grotesque. Like ever like in the movie. Like I own the movie.
Okay.
But like he's like a demon and his whole goal is like I don't know how much you know about Spawn, but
I know very little. I just knew the name. And I looked up a picture of the comic version of him and I see like the comic looks much less comical than the person.
oh yeah, like there's a lot of things. They're apparently trying to make another movie, but we'll see.
Yeah, in my
But like
searches it did come up with a 2020.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But like I know Todd McFarlane didn't have control over the movie that came out, and he wasn't very happy about it.
Yeah, that tends to happen
And
when
so, yeah, so people are like kind of a little bit excited for this one coming up because like there's a lot of opinions about Todd McFarlane, but he like one thing is that he is very particular about how movies come out and things. So people are like, okay, well, if it doesn't go well, like you have no one to blame but yourself, but we're willing to see what happens.
yeah.
Um,
Sounds kind of like the Princess Bride thing except it literally didn't become a movie until the author was like, "Yes, this guy.
mhm,
I agree with this one."
yeah. Um, but yeah, like so Spawn, like once again, like this is another reason why I'm not a big fan of Haunt. Like the main character, like Black Ops CIA agent, assassin person, just kind of like the brother, gets betrayed, killed, gets sent to hell, and then is made into a hell spawn. Thus, he gets his name
Mm.
Spawn, and then comes back from hell to be like, where's my wife? And like finds out that there's other people dating his wife, and he's just like, what the heck? And just like goes and well does just like starts like hunting like people that beat up prostitutes and stuff. That is a very clear thing I remember in the movie, where and like multiple scenes, and even the HBO animated series where it's just like HBO animated series is a lot better, but
Okay.
it's like pretty much it's a very clear. They don't say she's a prostitute, but very clear, like that is comic book prostitute right there, and it's just like pretty much goes up, kills the dude, like pretty much beating her up, and then just like she's like, "Wow, thanks." She's like, "Get out of my alley." So get out of my swamp. Yeah. So
Full Shrek on them.
yeah, and watch we will now have the Spawn people come out of the like woodwork. He's like, "That's not how it works." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. I don't care that much." Um, but yeah, it's Spawn is like Edge Boy Supreme.
I gotcha. But yeah,
But
so
he has
that
a lot of cool powers though too. They're
so
all guns.
gun powers. But yeah, so Haunt though in specific is your runner up,
Yes.
least
Yeah,
runner up.
like it's like I don't know. Honestly, Todd, from what I was reading on it, really didn't want to work on it. And then it was like 2 years after they said, "Yeah, we'll do it." They're like, "Okay, well, I made a promise," and they made a whole storyline out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. Like, I've only read the first book. I don't know how, like, if it gets better or if it changes or anything. It might be a really good story, but it's just like you made Ghost Spider-Man.
It could have been more. I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. All right. Then I'll jump into my least favorite. I decided to just make this a general category. I'm just going to say pretty much all the ghosts I've ever heard of in reality ghost hunting shows. Because it's
The
like,
real ghosts.
but
Or
like,
real ghosts.
I'm not going to question anyone on like whether or not they believe in ghosts. I have heard of different like situations of hauntings that I found believable, but it's just for me whenever it comes to the reality show portion, they hype it up so much and they get there and the ghost is like, "Nah, not today. You don't get any evidence from me." And
Yeah.
I would love to watch one where the ghost is just fed up, where the ghost is just like, just leave me alone. If I make the EMF 5, will you leave? If I throw...
Someone's been playing Phasmophobia.
Yes, I have, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it would, like, if I were to become a ghost, I would either be like that passive aggressive ghost that makes it so like I'm there, but I just show up at inconvenient times to be like I'm bored because I think I
Can we
don't.
be ghosts together and just when people come to our haunts, we'll just do our podcast until they leave?
That doesn't bode well for our listeners, though.
They
Oh,
can listen to us for all eternity. Oh man.
no, and then I feel like I don't know. It feels like in the ghost like reality shows they hype it up. They're like, this one's a S-class demon and he will kill us if we stay in the room too long. And they stand in the room and they go, "Did you see that flash?" And you're like, "Huh? What?"
What?
Is the ghost
Yeah.
shy? What's going on, buddies?
What was the one that was on? Was it Discovery or? Oh man, it was like they pretty much were like they looked like rock stars. Ghost Adventures.
I haven't heard of that one.
I liked this one a lot because well, this is younger me when I was didn't fully understand what some words meant because like I don't know why it was. I'm trying to remember exactly why, but I pretty much called the show Ghost Pimps because these guys like they looked way too good to be people that like regularly like I don't know. It feels like there's a look for people that are gonna hunt ghosts, and these guys like they kind of looked like your like model or rock band esque group, and
Mm-hmm.
uh and they were just like, "Hey ghost, you here?" And they would just been like they would not antagonize the ghost, but it's just like I don't know. The reaction was like, "Ooh, ghosts!" and stuff. But then it came out like they stopped doing it for like after a couple seasons, and like the group came out and they're like, "No, we fully believe in ghosts and all that stuff, and we do believe there's hauntings, but the network." Like when we didn't get good enough footage, they would have us go back in and reshoot and then plant haunts.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're like, and it got to the point where they're like, we don't want to do this. This is a lie. And
Yeah.
so they actually left on principle. I'm like, okay, like
Good
I
for
don't,
them. Yeah.
yeah, I don't agree with everything like they believe, but like I don't know. At least they make your stand. Like, and it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. There, like I do remember one episode. I think it was actually in Pennsylvania. They went. Um, but I don't remember exactly what it was. And now it's like I don't know if this was actually true or not. But it's there was like one thing where they're like, I don't know if we can go, and like it's just like looking back, they could be hamming it up, but it was just like they actually caught on camera like it looked like um what was it? Like one of those poles that you hang your jackets on.
Oh, like a
Uh
coat rack
coat
or
rack, yeah. It's something pretty much like that. not attached to anything, but like they go back in the footage and they see it like the way it's leaning. There's no way that it could fall the way it does at the host of the show. And like, and also it like moved. like, like it wasn't in the same hallway that it was, and it's like it could definitely be one of those things where they moved it, or I don't know, made it happen.
Yeah, like I've heard, like I'm not here to say like whether they're real or not. I have heard people tell me stories that sound really believable to me, where it's kind of like their experiences with hauntings are more like, I guess you could say, like it feels like replays of memories. So if you happen to be like looking at a certain thing in a certain direction, sometimes you see like something that feels like a loop. Like every day at so much time a carriage shows up or something like that. Or every day at a certain time it looks like there's a woman standing at a window. And I'm like, that's believable because, like, you know, presence and stuff. But when the ghost shows are like, I was taking a shower and then the shampoo bottle came hurtling at me at like 5 miles an hour. I'm like, what? Hold on.
Also, 5 miles per hour isn't the fastest thing in the world.
It's faster than it, like, just falling or something
Yeah.
like that. But I don't even know how fast I'd be able to throw something like a full shampoo bottle. I feel like I wouldn't be able to throw it very fast.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. This is not the point of the.
Yeah, but yeah, and they're like, it would try to kill me with shampoo, and I'm like, okay, so when they go in, they're gonna see weird stuff, right? And they're like, this is where the shampoo bottle is. We'll watch it for 12 hours. Nothing happened. And I was like, Ghost, let's do this. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Is this your time to shine?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like in Among Us when I die. I'm like, oh, people are like, oh no, you died. I'm like, I can just take care of all the stuff I want to. Like, I don't have to deal with walls. I can just go and do things. Like, I feel like if I was a ghost, I'd ham it up. People would be like, I'm so scared of you. I'm like, is this scary? And then like write something in sugar. Write poop in sugar. Are you scared?
Not anymore.
Clearly someone's here, but what?
What did it say? Subscribe to me on you. What is this?
Listen to Pointless Discourse.
Well, to be true, well, to be fair, we did that when we were dead.
When we were ghosts in Among Us. No, it's just like you said, I feel like there are a lot of shows that just ham it up to try and get people watching it, and then they reach a certain point, and then they're like, well, there wasn't enough ghost evidence, so this is an open and shut case. Maybe someone else can come back later. Kind of like that whole, they can continuously just funnel people into the same places over and over again for the network. I would just, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much ghost potential there, and the ghosts are just like, there's a camera, no thank you. But I guess that does technically add to the scariness of it. Like, is it on camera? Is it not on camera? Was that a noise? Is that a noise? That is.
Like oh god.
I was just gonna say that is part of the suspense for some people, where they just sit there and go, "What is ghost?"
I don't know. I enjoy like I used to when I watched TV. I enjoyed watching them because I thought they were hilarious. Oh my goodness! I just realized I would be the worst in an actual ghost hunt, because if I'm comparing how I watch the shows and then what I did in Phasmophobia, like either something's gonna happen because I pissed off the ghost enough, because it was just like, oh man, what did I say? That like we had a ghost. Her name was Mary, and it was just like we weren't even done the 5 minutes, and I pissed it off enough where stuff started happening, because I walked in the house and I'm just like, "Hey Mary, you're really hairy," and then it was just like lights started flicking off, and we're like, "Oh,
She violent."
yeah." I think that it wasn't a mare; it was something else. But
Okay.
But yeah, I enjoy watching them mainly because it's like. But like, I also like going into like, I think it's called like urban. It's not urban exploring.
Oh yeah,
like,
you told me about like the abandoned area, and you were wearing flip flops.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But like, I haven't done it recently, but it's just I enjoyed it. Like I don't know, I will probably definitely be the one to die first in a horror movie because I'm like, oh, cool. But it's
Oh,
just
scary noise. Let's go.
yeah,
Cabin in the Woods, you're the easy one to get to do what they need.
yeah. I'd be what's his name? Uh, the football player.
Oh, the jock. The
Yeah,
athlete.
except I would not be the one that is getting some action in the woods because I'm like, no, go away.
I just really like the concept, too, of them explaining the formula of why the characters are always the same.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's a good movie. If you guys haven't watched Cabin in the Woods, go watch it. So,
Yeah. So who are your least favorite? What is your least favorite ghost? I was going to say
uh,
who because I made a group of ghosts all equivalent.
it is. Hold on, let me look at my list. The rest of them are who's.
Okay.
Um, so this is when everything starts to get into the same kind of similar vein. Actually, no. Now I'm looking at it. They're not. my my good list are kind of in the same vein. But just like my runner-up, which was a comic, this character is also a comic book. Big parentheses hero. So Hop, I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you think of ghosts, what does ghost do?
Scare.
Oh, wait, I guess I should be more specific. Like, what are the attributes of like a ghost?
Physical world means nothing. And cold. It not seeable. Well,
Yeah.
depends. I guess ghosts can choose to be seen depending on the lure
Mhm.
you pick. Can make noise if want.
Yeah, they're also like well,
Oh, that's what I
untangible.
mean. That's what I mean. Like physical world doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
can't
what I was
you can't
assuming.
touch them. They can't touch. Usually can't touch things.
Yes. So take all that ghost stuff and then make it a superhero. You get Dead Man, who,
Is he dead?
yes,
Score.
he literally. Okay, so he. The funny thing is, he interacts with like the Batman family a lot, but like his whole thing is he was a trapeze like circus dude. Um, someone like jury rigged his like trapeze thing to where he was an acrobat. That's what it was, and someone like booby trapped his thing to where he falls and dies, and then becomes a ghost, and he's just in his like circus uniform, which becomes his like superhero like costume. But all he does is he's literally a ghost and just floats around and just sees crime happen and then can't tell anybody how it happened. And he's just like and like he'll go and like I remember there's multiple scenes where he's like next to Batman and Robin. He's like, the murderer's right there. Like, get him. And then he's just like, they're like, they can't hear him. They're just like, I don't know what's going on, Robin. Batcave. And to the point where like it's always the same case where Dead Man just gets so pissed off that he's like, and he just flies into one of them, possessing them, getting super confused, and just like, here's the murderer. Who's the person? Go do it. And they're just like, Robin, how do you know this? And he's like, go do. He bad. Oh, I'm kicked out body. It's just like, Robin, how'd you do that? And then it's just like that's all he does. I don't know if he does more. Like I know there's certain heroes in the DC universe that can see the dead.
Okay.
And like they interact with the dead. So he has a little bit more interaction with them. However, most of the time it's just like, I'm dead. I saw murder. There he go. How fix? I can't.
I just force myself into someone.
Which is why he doesn't have his own comic run. He's always like an added on or just like you see
Like
Dead
a
Man.
narrative device more instead
Yeah.
of like a whole character. Yeah, and looking at the wiki, it says in his powers and abilities, the first sentence is, as a disembodied spirit, Dead Man could not be seen or heard by most others.
Yes. Like all his powers are literal. Oh, a ghost. Yeah. you just he's just there, and he's
He
just
has issues possessing those with stronger minds like Batman, and is often forced out in a short amount of time.
yeah, like aka a plot device, so that way Dead Man literally can't spill the whole beans. He's just, beep, beep. Like I think there's like one part where he does possess somebody, and he just stays in them for a long time, and he's just like, and then actually has to go solve said crime because he's in the body. He's like, I can do stuff.
Yeah, it definitely seems like I don't. Is he a trapeze artist in the same
I
circus
think so.
that
Yeah.
Robin was? Okay.
I don't know, but it's
Because when you said trapeze artist, I was like, Robin?
yeah,
Well, one Robin.
yeah.
I forget
The
which one it is. I always forget.
Jason. I think it's Jason because Tim Drake is the actual cool Robin who solved the mystery of who Batman was, and that's how he became Robin. He's like,
Hey, I'm
I know
here.
yeah, like he just shows up. He's like, I know you're Batman, and they're like, what? and then, but then there's also Damian, which is actually Batman's son.
Yes, I remember that.
A little turd.
But anyway, no, he definitely sounds like he didn't need to be his own hero.
Yeah, it's like if he does have a comic series like that's based off of him, it's like a one shot of like this is my origin story. Like it seems like all other times he's just like I'm here to help other hero, or it's just like we need to write a spin off. I tell the story from the perspective of a dead man. Who? Just do it. Okay. But yeah, he's constantly there, and then it's just like I remember there's other times when like people can actually talk to him, and he's like, "What? You can hear me?"
So it sounds like his background story is while he was in ghost form, an entity gave him the ability to possess people so that he could possess other people to find out the truth to his murder. Isn't that a video game? Murdered Soul
Oh,
Suspect or something like
yeah,
that.
probably. It came out a lot later after Dead Man.
It did, but I just mean the
It
whole.
could be like it's not an original concept. I wonder if it was Spectre who gave him the powers.
No, it says it was a Hindu goddess, and
Uh,
I
as you
could.
say that, yeah, that makes I'm remembering things.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the name's there, but I don't want to butcher the name.
Yeah, like Spectre, like he's not on my list. I don't know if he's on your list at all, but um, he he's legit cool. Like he's just a really cool dude, and like his whole thing is like he's like the spirit of vengeance. I think it is,
Mm.
and it's just like there's like a whole comic run called Kingdom Come. And okay, hold on. Before I say more, is he on your list at all?
No.
Because I didn't want to ruin anything. Because you didn't answer. I'm like, I don't know. Might be the long game. He goes and yeah, he pretty much just like takes someone out of time, like from, and this just like shows him the future when all the superheroes like have this huge like war, and it's just like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on now, and he's just like, yep, here I am. But,
Okay, I've seen Spectre a lot.
yeah, Spectre has a lot more say on the like. Pretty much, it's like if Spectre shows up, you know, it ain't going well. And like his whole thing is like he just possesses different people, and it's just like go fix what's wrong. You have the powers of Spectre now, and it's just like, but and he's like, do it.
Yeah, he seems to have a lot more to him than poor old dead man.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody had an idea and people were like, I don't like it, and they were like, all right, we'll just.
Yeah. But like I don't know, when you like we literally made a ghost and now he's superhero. It's just like, well, what are you gonna do, guy? Like,
Well,
you
no.
wrote yourself into a corner. There's only so much to do. But yeah, that's why he's my number one worst.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
So now
Oh,
I was gonna
what?
say, so now time to flip it to our
Yeah.
likes. All
Do you
right,
have a runner-up for your likes?
I do. My runner up for what I like not my second place, but my runner up for who I like is Boo from the Mario series. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a good reason why. I just think he's a fun character design and a ball of anger. And it's just adorable to me. And I feel like if I can't pick Yoshi in like Mario Kart or Mario Party, I tend to just pick Boo.
I wonder how he hits the pedals in Mario Kart.
Probably his tongue. Let's be honest. Because his hands are stubby. They could reach the wheel, the
I
steering wheel,
guess
easy enough.
I was like, first I was about to say that's kind of gross, but then I realized he's a ghost. He's dead. Like, what does he care if he gets germs? Like, oh, you want to kill me twice?
I also like the sound effects they give him when they scare things. That little squeaky, warbly voice.
I haven't heard Boo in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I do like when he's sitting there and just like you're running and then you're like turn around and he's like, whoa.
Yeah, I think the characteristics, if you try to look him up, Boo's been in the series for a very long time as an enemy, but he's the shy ghost that just wants to scare you. And it's like, you don't have to call him shy, it's just a game mechanic.
Yeah. And also to scare you equals death.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I just think he's a funny little ball of anger with very stubby arms. And I don't know,
No legs.
no legs.
That's a good one. I do like Boo.
There's not a lot I can say.
Yeah, he's just there. There's King Boo, which is a bigger Boo for the crown.
With a crown. Yeah, I haven't played the newest Luigi's Mansion, but I know
haven't played
he's.
any of them.
I started playing the first one because I had a working GameCube before the rabbit ate wires. Well, mostly working. The reset button doesn't work because I reset when I used to play Animal Crossing too much, so the button got stuck. But yeah, so that's my runner-up.
All I know about Mario's Mansion, Luigi's Mansion, is Luigi opening up the door and saying Mario.
Yeah, just imagine that for most of it. That's the majority of it.
Real quick, keep talking because I can hear you, but I need to get something to drink real quick because I drank all my drink.
Oh no, not all your drink.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just jump into my.
But I can still hear you, and then I will yell from the fridge if there's anything I feel like I need to say as I waddle back.
Yeah, so that's my runner-up. So I'll start talking on my second most favorites. For my second most favorites, I actually had a tie, and I wasn't sure which one I should necessarily pick. I was between No Face from Spirited Away, because I don't know, something about the character. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the movie.
Forgot about that one. That's a good one.
There's DPayne shouting from the fridge. But yeah, like, I don't know. No Face is just such a strong character and such an important, like, I guess, character development kind of thing that is really cool to me in the way that they present it in Spirited Away. And then I also like Danny Phantom.
I saw Danny Phantom and I was like, you know what? I'm not a big fan about this, but I have a theory. We might be talking about Danny Phantom.
I don't know, like, I liked the concept of the show enough. I don't remember him as a character specifically, so I think I'll just push Danny Phantom into like a double runner-up. Because I remember loving the show. But I guess I'll talk more about No Face from Spirited Away.
You
Cause...
can talk about whoever you want, because this is your time.
Oh, thank
I
you.
will support it. I might interrupt from time to time, because my brain don't work the best, but it is your time. You talk about who you want to.
And that's on Supportive Friends.
Yes,
No,
that's a different podcast.
No, I don't know. Like Danny Phantom, I think I put it there because it's nostalgia more, and I don't remember anything specifically about Danny and his half ghost powers. Like I think I could talk more about No Face, so I think I'll talk about No Face.
Can I just say the one thing I do remember about Danny Phantom that I thought was funny, and I still find it funny, where there's the little ghost that has the big like tech suit, and like it starts off where he just has like a like tape recorder and his suit's like a piece of garbage, and then Tucker, is that his friend's name?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like who's the tech friend, like pulls out a Palm Pilot, which that will show people's age. And he's just like, He's like using it and has like the schedule, and he's just like, "What is this new tech?" And he like wires it to his suit and gets like super like hyped up tech, and then but the whole thing is like the ghost can't keeps popping up to destroy Danny, but immediately the suit gets like he's like time for our 8 o'clock thing to do this and just flies away because it has Tucker's schedule in it. and, and so those ghosts literally can't fight. So that's how they start to battle against him, where it's just like, oh, just put random things into the schedule. And so they're doing that, and then it's just like he shoots the other Palm Pilot that Tucker has. He's like, I had 3 more payments left on that. And then they're just like, he's about to destroy Danny, and all of a sudden the suit starts doing stuff again. They look over and he has another one, and they're just like, where do you keep getting? He's like, they had a sale. I bought 30 or something along the lines of that. So he just has like, I don't even remember how they beat him. I just remember that scene where he just like keeps pulling out Palm Pilots, which were not cheap back then, but just keeps pulling them out of his backpack and messing with this robot ghost. So that's all I wanted to say. It's not like Adventure Time where I'm like, I don't understand the humor or why it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
There are parts that I thought was funny, but I am placid on my opinion of Danny Phantom.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember I liked the theme song a lot. I thought his half ghost
theme song, yeah.
It's a very good theme song. I remember his half ghost powers were pretty neat with the whole being able to move between it. Like, that's a way to do a superhero instead of just instead of going full ghost.
Full ghost. Be a happy.
Be a half ghost. And the fact
new race in D&D, half ghost.
And then the whole I don't know, and I like the origin story too. I remember that where it's he was messing around with his parents' experiments and stuff like that. I don't know. I thought it was a very well thought out kind of character. As far as his actual powers and how he handles things, I don't have great memory on it. I just remember loving the show. But No Face, I can like remember specific scenes with him because I think the first time I watched Spirited Away, No Face scared me as a kid. Because when he takes spoilers, when he takes on the form and starts to be very gluttonous, I was like, he's big, he's scary, he's gonna eat me. But as
mission real.
But as an adult, kind of like looking back on how he works as a character, it's like, oh, he was like he took on the traits of the greedy guy, thinking that being bigger and better and happier would make Chihiro happy and like him, and Chihiro was like, that's not what makes you cool or good or interesting, and he's like, oh, and then like tantrum.
Yeah.
Full on tantrum.
Is that when he like just starts puking out gold and is just like, here?
He pukes out, but essentially,
he pukes out
everything. Yeah. So, for anyone who isn't familiar with Spirited Away, No Face is, I forget, is he 100% a ghost, or is he just kind of considered like a spirit in general? Because he is transparent and has a mask, and he's floaty.
I thought he was a ghost. Well, you talk, I'll look it up.
Okay. And I just, he has the ability to make gold. And in the particular part where he begins to play a part in the storyline, they happen to be in a bathhouse where if you pay gold, you get treated like royalty. And he, as he's getting paid gold and stuff, I forget, why does he eat the frog? Do you remember why? Or not frog, but like frog-like guy.
I don't remember. But it says that he's a spirit.
Okay.
I can see as I read through this if I can find out why he eats frog.
Yeah, I'm reading around a little bit more.
I still find it funny. The whole reason he's there is because Chihiro brings him in because he's like, I don't want him to get wet. Thinking he's a customer, and he's just there now.
It says, learning that gold was important, No Face baited an unsuspecting, the character that he ends up eating to come closer, and swallows up the frog spirit to gain his corruptive property soon after. I'll have to rewatch it. It is a beautiful movie, though. It's very much worth rewatching. And also, if you're watching live on stream and or eventually when I get this on YouTube, I do have a Spirited Away fabric scroll that I have behind me.
I think I have a Spirited Away poster that my mod made me.
Ooh, nice. But no, I don't know. Like,
I can see if it's it. No, it's a princess. It is okay. I do have one. Hold on.
But yeah, for me, No Face, I think, is a very good example of how you can have a ghost play a part in the story and him not have to be necessarily like a haunting and not necessarily have to be like ghosts of Christmas past and present and talk directly at you to kind of show you things about characters. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he made that for me. This does not work for
Audio listeners.
audio listeners, but it's a really cool picture that my mod made me. He made me one of Princess Mononoke as well.
Also a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think the way that No Face and Chihiro interact is just, I don't know, it's like short and sweet and adds a whole element of like suspense, and you get to see Chihiro, even though she's young, get to be like very mature and just trying to figure things out, even though she's scared and sad and lonely.
Man, I haven't watched that movie in a while.
It's a very good movie.
I wonder. I remember saw like all the Studio Ghibli movies like as a set. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy them.
There are still some of the really big ones that I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle. I know that one's a really popular one. And there's another one that I haven't seen. Oh, Graveyard of Fireflies I also haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I watched all that Cartoon Network, they like for a whole week they just had a marathon of Ghibli movies and they just played them back to back to back to back.
Yeah, when theaters were operating, they used to have a Ghibli thing where it would be like once a month they would show a different Ghibli movie, and you could buy either a pass to have access to all of them, and you just keep coming in, or you could buy the individual tickets. So I always made sure to watch like Princess Mononoke in theaters again.
My friend, his wife, for his 30th birthday party, found out for $100 she could rent a whole movie theater to have them watch Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
They invited me, but I'm like, I literally have stream stuff that was planned like weeks in advance. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
No.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But now I'm like wondering if we ever get to the point where we can have a Pointless Discourse meetup. Wonder how expensive it would be to just like, hey, we're gonna rent a movie theater. Let's put on Spirited Away or whatever. I don't know. Thoughts that can be answered in the future. First things first. Yo, everyone. Mid podcast promotion. Yo, share it with your friend because we're all friends here. Do it.
100% totally. But yeah, I don't know. No Face just...
He's a good boy. Partially.
He becomes gooder boy.
Yeah,
Like I said, he has like, while not being like a main character, he has a lot of development to him and like the little bits that he's in.
He has his own hero's journey.
Yeah, at first he seems like just creepy ghost guy, and then he seems like greedy, scary, killer ghost guy, and then he becomes like, and then I think at the end I read that he agrees to become the assistant to not the evil witch sister, the nice one. Because, yeah, that's also a big plot point.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I'm like, I remember snippets, and I'm like, I don't think I've watched it since middle school. Mm-hmm. So, like, I remember snippets. I just don't remember in totality of everything.
I think I own it on DVD. I know I own Princess Mononoke for sure. I forget if I bought Spirited Away. I know I own Wolf Children. I should buy your name. I like your name as well.
I like my name too.
Anime movies. But yeah, I think that's who I'd put as my runner-up. And I'll say like Danny Phantom is, I think, a show as a whole, I enjoy it. I don't know if I can say that I particularly love Danny Phantom himself as a character enough to put him in this spot.
I found a Blu-ray collection of all the Miyazaki films, 11 movies.
Does it go as old as what the Pig Pilots? I know that's not the real name. It's like Poro or Porco.
I'm trying to find
Porco
out which
Rosso?
ones are in there. Hold on. Oh, here's a picture of the back. Does it say what's in there? No, it doesn't. Tell me what are in there, you stinking...
Contents, please.
Oh, okay. Product description. Castle Cagliostro. I
Good
don't know
start.
that one. Yeah, Nausicaa, of the wind, of the Valley of Wind, Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro. Wow, I didn't realize Totoro was that old.
Yeah, My Neighbor Totoro is very old, very sweet, very heartwarming.
Totoro came out the same year I was born.
If you watch the animation again, I think you can get the vibe that it is an older animation.
Yeah. And then there's Kiki's Delivery Service,
Also adorable.
Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, House Moving Castle, Ponyo, The Wind Rises. It's a pretty good collection.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Graves of Fireflies.
Yeah, I
Whatever
was
it's
told
called.
you watch that one once and you cry so much that you never watch it again.
Oh, it's here too. That one's $17. Well, 18. Oh, and then there's Your Name as well. Well, why is Tales of Earthsea got William Defoe's name next to it? I have no clue what this is. Anyway,
Some of the American voice actors would surprise you. Ponyo has a lot of Disney people in it and some other big names. I forget off the top of my head. I know like Ponyo has like the youngest Jonas brother and the youngest Cyrus family daughter in it as voices. And I want to say it has some other big names in it.
I'm moving this Amazon link to my main profile thing. Hey, minimize.
Tangents.
Tangents are no fun. Shut up. Yeah, they are.
Tina Fey is in Ponyo. Matt Damon is. Kate Blanchett. Liam Neeson. Oh, I do know the Liam Neeson one now that I think about it. Betty White's in it.
Butter. I haven't seen Ponyo. I might be buying. No, I shouldn't. I'm gonna wait. I need to wait till I get out of this place and save up some money. Then I might buy it.
Just keep watching stuff on Hulu until then. I think
Is it on
Akira.
Hulu?
I think Akira's on Hulu.
Oh man, that's another one. Like I've read, I need to watch.
I own the DVD. It's a
So
matter
do
of
I.
finding them.
I have the Blu-ray somewhere. I don't know where it is.
You'll find it when you move. It's how I keep finding stuff. I'm like, oh, I own this?
You don't move anymore.
No. When I was moving from my apartment to my house.
Yeah, actually, I think I might know where it is, but that's a whatever.
Anyway, yes, No Face is my runner-up. Also, if there are more ghosts than other Ghibli movies, they probably would also equally take this spot.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if there are any. Oh, I guess technically the thing is a spirit in Princess Mononoke. Yes? Or is it more of a god and less of a spirit?
The thing. I'm forgetting his name. Is that the? Is that the like? Oh, excuse me. The antler dude.
Yeah.
Face?
Yeah. Is it a spirit?
a-
Is it god?
I thought it was like. I don't know.
A
I thought
protector
it was
of
like
the
spirit of the
forest?
forest or something like that. But it's like normally when it has like spirit of location, it's normally like that thing's like, if not a god, like a minor god. And
Yeah. Like a demigod, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Someone will correct us. So, yeah. Anything else you have to say about that? Or
No.
okay. So, Hop, when we were preparing, I told you I kind of cheated.
I said Ghost of Jason is fine.
Yes, but now I'm letting the podcast know of my cheaty ways. Because technically, said character is an alien, but also ghost. I meant to say those in reverse, but they reversed in my head.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Ben 10?
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Ghostface? No, Ghost Freak. I don't know why it changed it to Ghostface in my notes.
Okay, so I'm familiar with Ben 10, but I will not say that I ever actually watched it. I think I always changed the channel when he came up. Okay, I'm looking at a picture. He does look like a ghost alien or alien ghost or
Yes. Well, he both.
yes to both.
So, so for people who don't know what Ben 10 is, because I don't know where in lore Ben 10 stands now, like in the world. Pretty much a 10-year-old, which is also his last name is Tennyson, and he has 10 aliens hidden in a watch that he hits, and he can turn into any ghost, which is why he was called Ben 10. Which is funny because when he goes into the future, they call him Ben 10,000 because he unlocks so many other aliens in his watch. But I believe it was the 8th one, and the original one was Ghost Freak, and it every time he became Ghost Freak, like he's like, this feels weird. This does not feel like the rest of the aliens I can turn into. It turns out that Ghost Freak was never supposed to be in the watch. Because the whole thing, that race is like a race full of alien, like they're ghosts. They're all like this, and they're just super criminals.
Mm.
And they pretty much have the powers of ghosts, where they can like go in and possess people and move them around and stuff. Um, and like the only reason Ghost Freak DNA, because they're not the actual person, they're just the DNA of the alien race that they put in there. The person that was putting in the DNA into the watch, he was scanning a certain race, but he didn't know that the person was the possessing the thing that he was scanning, or she was scanning.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, okay, yeah, it's pretty much this, like, I don't know, it's like some plant creature that he was scanning to get the DNA. And yeah, he was in there, and thus I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. His DNA and like everything got locked into the Omnitrix as well. So there's a whole storyline where props comes up every once in a while, where Ghost Freak's original thing tries to take over Ben 10. Is like, no, you summoned me, I'm here now. And there's even parts where he like breaks out of the watch and just starts like attacking random people, and it's just like, what the heck? But I don't know, I always thought he was a pretty cool like looking character. So for you're looking at pictures of him now, for people who don't know, he's pretty much like, he looks like a white spirit that has like all these black lines around him with one eye.
Mm-hmm.
that those black lines are like tracks, and that eye can travel around that track. So like he never actually has to turn around. Like his eye just goes around the track until he can just see where people are and stuff. And I don't know, it's a cool design because like he'll be facing off at somebody, and then like someone will talk to him that's behind him, and he'll just let his eye travel to the back, and he's like, what? And they're just like, because he doesn't have a mouth either.
Oh, okay.
So he just makes the eye go around. He's like, what do you want? But yeah, pretty much all his powers, I think he pretty much has your basic ghost thing where he becomes intangible. He can possess enemies. He can shapeshift and change form to be more like smoke. And I'm trying to remember, like his weakness is sunlight, and yeah, and he can fly and have like, he has sharp claws. He also has like tentacles that he can like, it's more like Slender Man to scare people, but also like use to like throw things. But it's the reason why I kind of like him is just like, not only is this dude like a character that like comes out to like just destroy and like fight against your main character, like he's just like, I'm here, you're gonna do what I want now. There's like also parts where like the main villain, like Ghost Freak, will try to help.
So
So,
it's not, it gives Ben something to have to fight with like internally, and not just like summon, fight, win. You also have Ghost Freak, who's like, well, I'm pretty evil too.
yeah, like the person that they scanned was like a super criminal pretty much, and they're just like, they're like, he was never supposed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was on the run, didn't realize that he was in the body that the creator was scanning, and like every time Ghost Freak is coming out, it's like this internal battle of like, now there is like another alien that has something like this, which is, I don't know, that's another fun thing where it's like this super all powerful like alien,
Mm-hmm.
and he does something, and then he just goes into stasis, and like Ben's like, what the heck is going on? And he has this council of like three other aliens that are in there, and he has to like prove his point to like, why did he do this, why was he summoned, and all this stuff. And he's just like, I had to go help things, and I'm still trying to help my friends, let me out. And they're just like, actually it's just two. And there's like, this is improbable, like the whole thing. And they're just like, he's just constantly arguing with these aliens while his friends are getting shot at by other aliens. And they're just like, it's like, let me out. And like he says he's never gonna summon that alien again.
Mm-hmm.
But Ghost Freak is just different because it's like, he is a villain, and the whole thing is just like, it's just cool because whenever, as you said, you never really watched the show, and for people who didn't really watch, anytime he would use the Omnitrix, which is the name of the watch he uses to switch between the aliens, none of them really interact with him. They're just like, he fuses with them and becomes like, not the exact form, because it's kind of like, since Ben is a child, it's more like a child version of whatever alien, and but like still like with all the attributes and everything. And none of them really talk to him or interact with him all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Freak is the one where it's just like, not the first time he uses them, but it's like when he uses them, starts using them a little bit more regularly, it's like the personality wakes up and just starts resisting, and it's like kind of a slow build until like it comes out and faces him. And so it's, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, how do you like cause an issue with Ben's powers? Because there is like a cooldown time
Mm-hmm.
until they just kind of get rid of that when they meet the creator. And he's like, oh, you just do this, because there's like, it's pretty much just a big old space Rubik's cube, and like when you do different like things with it, it will unlock other aliens and other things, because it has every alien race known to like to to the universe in that watch.
Okay.
And so it, and so like, out the one out of all of all of them, like out of the first 10 that he gets, it's literally the ones like, I'm gonna actively kill you every time you try to summon me. I don't care if you're 10. He's like, let me be free, dang it. And then there's like another storyline where they meet like another dimension, and it's like evil Ben, to where I believe Ghost Freak took over, and he's still able to use all the powers of the watch and stuff. And so I don't know, it shows like what could happen but didn't. um I don't know, I really enjoyed Ben 10. I liked it a lot, and then I stopped watching TV. So, but yeah, it was a fun show, and it's just like, I'm like, I remember really enjoying this when it came out. And even though, yes, he's technically an alien, there's still some really cool story things that they bring into there. Like, one of the things I really like about Ben 10 was they full force like say anything that you think is something is actually alien powers. So like, they're, one of the main characters, she starts casting magic, and it's like, oh, so there's magic in this world? That's cool. To the point where you later meet like this person like that's not on the planet, and she's like, well, and they're like talking, and she's like, yeah, well, I can cast magic. And she's like, you think that's magic? And just starts laughing in her face, and she's like, what do you mean? And like their uncle is like, or grandfather is like this super, like, you find out like he was this like pretty much X-Files esque person who was like interacted with all these aliens and helped keep Earth safe from them.
Mm-hmm.
And the and she like the alien turns to him, and she's just like, "You didn't tell her?" And he's like, and then just turns back. She's like, "Yeah, what you guys call magic is actually alien DNA that pretty much got mixed in with your human race, and is now like so dispersed that like only a certain amount of people can like use the abilities. So it's just like turns out like humankind is a whole bunch of like alien breeds, and like anyone that has like superpowers is just like crossbreeded from aliens, and it's like you look human, but like you are actually showing powers that are from another alien race. And so I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
So I enjoyed that. So I was like, let's explain our random superpowered people.
It's all where's the alien guy?
Oh yeah,
Aliens.
aliens.
No, okay, that is pretty cool. But it is cool to have like a character in there in his watch that's it looks it like I looked at pictures of him. He both looks cool and it sounds cool that he's not just a willing participant.
Yeah, I mean that like I was reading storylines or like when I stopped watching the show where he's just like actively like because there's sometimes like the watch has a mind of its own in later seasons where it's just like it like breaks and will just start summoning random like DNA things.
Okay.
And like one of them like it brings Ghost Freak out and they're like, no, 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 and he's like, I'm back. Just like goes and starts like messing everything up. And I think that's the episode where he leaves and starts helping like the big bad of that show.
Okay.
Like, stop.
That's funny. All right. Anything else to add on for him?
Nah.
And did you have a runner up?
Oh yes. My runner up is a them. It's a whole bunch of thems. I'm not gonna really say a whole bunch about them. I just really like this video game. They're BTs from Death Stranding. I don't know. They're ghosts, and at the same time they're not ghosts. And like I don't want to talk about them too much because it's spoiler territory kind of for Death Stranding for people who want to play that game, which I suggest you do. I just really like it because in the game, they're like when you meet ghosts in like other games and all that stuff, they're like actively trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And like in Death Stranding, you can fight them, and it's just like you get different skills where it's just like pretty much you get like guns that use your blood for ammo, and it's like that's kind of how you fight them and weaken them. All this stuff, and you got to use like blood to keep your weapon like filled up, which there's a whole convoluted thing why that works. Not gonna go into it. What I find funny is that Kojima gave the ability for you to take your poo and pee, bottle them up into grenades, and throw them at the aliens, which they're just like, ah, dude, this is nasty, and pieces out.
I too would peace out.
Yeah, like just like no, man, I totally understand. It's just I don't know. That's the only reason. That's all I wanted to say about them. I really like them, and it's a fun little addition thing to where they constantly get more and more and more intense.
Mm-hmm.
But it just cracks me up that you can throw poop like a monkey at them, and like,
it works.
Yeah, just like how it works at the toddlers in the zoo, it works with the actual ghosts. That's why ghosts are never at zoo. The monkeys.
Fleeing too much stuff at them.
What if it's like the monkeys weren't actually throwing poop at the tourists or the visitors of the zoo? They actually see ghosts and they're like, oh, got to protect humans.
Oh no, that one's a people, not a ghost.
It's like, oh my bad.
That would be funny.
So, but yeah, that's all I have to say about VTs. Play Death Stranding. It's pretty cool. Make sure you guys have a month to play it, because that's how long it took me.
A long boy game.
Yeah, like that's all I streamed for the month of November, and it took me like 3 weeks to finish.
Whew.
A good game though.
Mm-hmm. But all right. So I'll jump into my number one favorite ghost. So, like, a lot of the other characters I think we talked about were all ghosts since, like, they're introduced into the lore. And technically, so is this character, but he has a lot of background story and, like, flashbacks to when he wasn't a ghost. But in current time of the airing of the show, in the timeline of the show, he is now Ghost. So I'm going with
Spoiler.
I'm going with Ben from Umbrella Academy. I don't know if you watched Umbrella Academy.
I have the first comic, but I haven't read it.
Okay, I
But
don't know what.
Go ahead if you want to spoil stuff for.
I'll skirt a fine line because it is still newer. Like, I think the first season came out, was it last year or 2 years ago?
Sure.
I've only watched the Netflix adaptation, so I don't know how he is in the comics per se, but
Me neither. I haven't read it.
but I was just saying for any listeners who are like, well, in the comics, blah blah blah. It's like, well, I didn't read them.
Listen here, nerd. Hush.
I don't know, I just like his character because he so there's the character Klaus who has the ability to speak with the dead, which I always think is like the worst superpower. Not that it's lame, but that eternal suffering. Every time someone ends up having the power to speak and commune with the dead, they end up becoming, in Klaus's sake, like he drinks to deal with it because there is a lot of voices and there's a lot of people that are like, help me. And you're like, I can't. But so Klaus is in contact with him, and Ben being an original part of the family, they're definitely close and stuff. So Ben has a lot of that. I forget what the device is called exactly, but I know it's that whenever I reference it, I always say kind of the Robin to the Batman kind of character, where he's
Sidekick?
not sidekick, but
That's a
so
cell phone.
from the way I've had it in a literary sense, Robin is, I know sometimes people find Robin annoying and that he holds Batman back, but that's so that Batman stays human, like that character device where Robin's like, you can't just do that, and Batman's like, but he's evil, and Robin's like,
Justice.
but he's still a person. He's like,
The moral compass.
yeah,
Exactly.
moral compass. There you go. Where Batman's like, why'd you let him get away? And Robin's like, well, because this or that. But that's kind of what Ben feels like to me when it comes to them trying to do things during the Umbrella Academy, where Ben's like, hey guys, or hey Klaus, can you tell them that it's actually because of this? And then Klaus is all like, brah, I don't want to deal with it. And Ben has to like drag Klaus around to make sure Klaus is actually like existing as a human being in it, and keeps him like on a line to a point. There are different points where Ben has some stuff that he does that's questionable, but overall as a character, I don't want to spoil things, but as a character, because he's the ghost that can really only talk and communicate with a single character in the main Umbrella Academy that's still alive, it plays that role where he's kind of like, when you should ask for advice, you should ask someone who's on the outside and is a third party. So he's floating around and he's like, you guys realize this. And then the character is like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not in the group anymore. And it's like, but I've been paying attention and I'm hanging out and I see everything going on, guys. You should take a step back. Like, he's like a cool voice of reason and stuff. And I like his overall character development. He's not too pushy. He's not too sad. He's just a nice wholesome character, although in the new season they imply a different timeline and things, and he might not be so wholesome anymore, but we'll see. We shall see.
Hope. There's hope. So wait, is he kind of the character where it's just like, y'all main people, if you listen to me, 90% of your problems would not be there?
I don't think he has the ability to solve them. I think he's more of that kind of other perspective where, you're watching the main characters run around trying to deal with all this stuff and be stressed out. And because he's not physically like involved with all of it, he's able to kind of be a step away enough to like kind of in a way to also help the viewer out, to help connect some pieces. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the main characters in it are, as you imagine, very frantic because they all have these abilities and they have all the pressure on them and they're trying to deal with things in a very fast scope of time. And he's like floating around and like
Peace,
hold.
y'all.
Well, he's like, can someone like breathe for a second and think before they actually just jump in and do something stupid for once?
I did that, and I ended up dead.
uh,
Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't know what I'm saying right now,
yeah,
so
I
it
was
could
gonna
be true
say.
or not.
Well,
So
no, I was gonna say that's a
I
very
don't
sad
know.
understatement of. I don't know if the show has gone into the details of it. They kind of hint at some of the reasons,
Spoilers.
but one big thing is, like I've said, he's already dead in the show. His death is a big stressor in the relationship between the other main characters because they saw each other as a family.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of like guilt and stuff related to his death. And then he's like floating around still watching and he's like, I wish people would understand like it's not their fault. So there's a lot of feelings too.
So, just for me to make sure I'm understanding, is there only one person that can hear him, or is
Yes.
there? Okay, that's Klaus.
Klaus, yeah.
Klaus,
Because he has the ability to commune with the dead. That's
and
his.
he's the one that drinks all the time.
Yes.
Okay, I got a little bit confused. Like I thought Ben had the ability to speak to the dead. And like, but you said he's ghost now. So he's just dead man. Like do the thing.
No, he's not dead man. He's dead man who has. It's like he's trying to talk to this. He's trying to talk to Spirit Box, but Spirit Box is like not translating anything he's saying.
Spirit Box is drunk.
Spirit Box is a very broken boy. No, but
So
I'd be
he's one of
curious
your
if you.
favorites.
I'm partial. I like the actor. The actor was in the British show Misfits, and I liked him in that. So I naturally already liked his character in this. It's a very similar. You know how some actors, like it stinks that they get typecast, but if you like the character, then you're willing to watch anything else he's in afterwards. Yes. Yeah, that's
Oh
me.
my goodness, I remembered a question I had, and I think you might be able to answer this, but I will wait until you are done.
I think overall, yeah, that's my summary. I don't want to. It's that fine line where I'd love to talk more about some of the things that he does and works through in the show, but you clearly own the comic, so you might read it eventually. It could be different in the
Yeah.
comic because I know sometimes, I know at least in the boys, Strider told me that they have the comic, but when they made the show adaptation, they changed something so that people who read the comic don't already see what's coming is coming. But
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, like just what was that? Oh, I'm forgetting the movie where everyone saw it because they very clearly put in like Atomic Blonde. The trailers for that. I didn't watch it either,
I didn't watch it.
but it's like I'm pretty sure me just saying that title, like that you just remember pretty much two trailers. One was forget the actor's name, but she jumped out the window and took out like a whole bunch of people.
Charlize
And
Theron?
that, yeah. And then there's the other one where it's just like, oh, it's let me get to know this girl very, very personally. And it's just like everyone saw them and was like, well, man, it's a good show. Well, I heard that was based off of a comic, which I think it's called The Coldest Day or something. And it's nothing like there's like those action scenes, but it's a spy thriller. Like I haven't read it, and I'm pretty sure like those scenes are in there. But like also I've heard like from people who watched the movie, like yeah, those scenes that they put in were literally like, okay, this will sell, go get butts and seats, because that is definitely not what this movie's about. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't really planning on seeing it anyway, but I don't know. I own it. I'll have to read it and get to it. But yes, I will. Oh man, the more and more we do this podcast, the more homework I get. But
You've been giving yourself all the homework.
Self-imposed homework.
It looks like Atomic Blonde, The Coldest City is what
Coldest City, yes. Okay.
Yeah, seeing pop up.
I knew it was the coldest something. Yeah, I'll have to. I will read the Umbrella. That's not the Umbrella Corporation. It's something completely different. the Umbrella Boys or whatever it was
Umbrella Academy.
called. Academy.
Umbrella Corp. Is
And
this that's Resident
Resident Evil.
Evil?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's Resident Evil. Oh, I can talk about that next week and how dumb it gets. Anyway, yeah. So, but I'll see. Like, I only have the first issue,
Mhm.
so we'll see. Like, if I get to the point that you're talking about. So yeah. So yeah, my question before I go on, because this has nothing to do with my number one, but when I was looking at it, I was very confused about something I saw. You watched that Harry Potter show, right? Movies.
I've watched all but I think I watched up to 5 or 6 because I read the 7th book. So I read the second to last book, and then I didn't like who died in it, so I quit on the series as a whole.
You made it much farther than me.
I think I stopped at the 4th or 5th movie. I forget.
I don't know when this character is in the movie, but it very confused me why they have Daniel Radcliffe in wig and he's a girl.
That's a different actress who is like 43 at the time of filming or something like that. Playing Moaning Myrtle. Yeah. I almost put Moaning Myrtle on my list of characters I don't like.
Why would don't like? Okay, I was like, why is female Daniel Radcliffe so high on this list?
Yeah, let me see. She's played by Shirley Henderson, who is
Don't you face palm me in chat?
Yeah, she was born in 1965.
This reminds me of that show Orphan, which is I'm not getting into that. That's like
the movie Orphans. I didn't like it.
It's not a good movie, but it's also like gross.
It's an uncomfortable movie.
Yeah.
I know that they were like, this is so scary when I was watching it with someone, and I was like, what's so scary? It's just uncomfortable.
It wasn't scary, and it was just like, it's just gross.
But she's in the first Harry Potter movies. In the books and stuff, she's like a reoccurring character. I don't know what her purpose was, but she's just a toilet ghost that loves Harry.
That sounds even worse. Toilet ghost?
Yeah, she haunts a bathroom.
She is the reverse of the BTs.
I think they talk about why she haunts that particular bathroom too, but I forget off the top of my head.
She had too many burritos. She died on the can. Or, well, wait a second.
I see why she died now. I looked it up.
Is it a big spoiler thing? Because I don't care.
I mean, Harry Potter's been out for long enough. I don't mind spoiling this.
It's been out a long time, and I don't care. And guess what, guys? You're going to hear now.
She was killed by the basilisk for being Muggle-born. If you understand what that means.
No.
Basilisk is big snake boy. And being Muggle-born means that she's a quote-unquote mudblood, and in J.K. Rowling's world, if your parents were not wizards and you were born and had wizard powers, then you're like, blah, 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 blah.
Wait a second. Everyone's mad at J.K. Rowling now, but she brought in magic racism?
Yeah.
Y'all saw it on the wall. Y'all shut up.
They've also been commenting, like, reading back on it, because this was a book for children, and I don't know how many adults read it to pick up on the themes.
Apparently, from what I heard.
Well, we're adults now, reading back on it. But I've seen a lot of TikToks making fun of the way she represents other characters and things like that.
I also remember another question, because normally I hear you say this when we start. Did you actually start recording the video?
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, I hear you say, like, and recording, and let's go. And I think I just missed the recording.
I didn't say it this time, but we're at an hour 50, so feel free to jump into your number one.
Yeah, we're not doing quizzes today, boys and girls. Mine's pretty quick. This is an anime, and it's one of my favorite animes, called Yu Yu Hakusho. Ooh, excuse me. And the character Yusuke, who's the main character, literally dies in the first episode. And he's a ghost. And like for a good while, I know in the anime I don't think it's as long. I think it's like a couple episodes. But in the manga, maybe it's like 5 to 7 episodes, which is still a long time in anime where he's in ghost form, or like he's a ghost. In the manga, it's like a lot longer that he's in the ghost, but it's pretty much they just take their time telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
and like when he dies, like they're just like pretty much the ruler of the spirit world's like, yeah, we literally were not expecting you to save that kid's life looking at your whole life. So you weren't supposed to die there, and we're not ready for you. So we're gonna give you a chance, okay? And they're like, he's like, fine, sure. If I can go back to life, I'll take it. And they're just like, you got to do some good deeds, and like, here's this egg, and this egg is gonna be your like karma thing, depending on how you interact with people. It's just going to take all your good and bad karma, and if you do good, enough good and stuff, when the egg hatches, it will be something that helps you like throughout your life. If not, it's just going to turn into a giant like demon thing that's going to eat you, and you'll cease to exist forever. And they're like, he's like, what? And they're like, yep. So go do things now. And then he goes and like he starts doing different things, and he's able to like possess like other people to help him out. And he goes and does that, and he's just like, I did a good thing. And like there's Botan, which is like the witch that like is kind of his spirit guide as well, just like, she's like, I don't know, you beat up a lot of people trying to do that one good thing. And he's like, and it's like the only reason is that he's possessing a Kuwabara, which is like a medium. Like he doesn't realize he's a medium or has spiritual abilities, but it's a lot easier for him to possess this one guy. And he's a thug. He's like one of those delinquents, so everyone's trying to fight him, and he's like, and these guys like, I literally can't do anything because this loser keeps fighting everybody. But it's, oh no, I used to be able to do Kubar's voice. I don't know if you ever watched Yu Yu Hakusho.
I remember watching it growing up, but I don't remember it well enough to be able to like speak to the ghost in specific. Like,
It's sorry, go ahead.
Because it was not my go-to show on Adult Swim, which was my only access to watch it growing up. It was on Adult
Swim?
Or not, yeah.
Toonami. It was on Toonami.
Wasn't it also an Adult Swim anime
Not to
hour?
my knowledge. Not if it was, I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of Adult Swim growing up.
Because I know they showed like Fully Cooley and maybe Adult Swim's the wrong segment for it.
I know it was on Toonami.
It might have been Toonami, because I remember having to stay up really late to be able to watch the spy, or not the spy, the detective anime that I really liked growing up.
Detective Conan?
Yeah, Detective Conan.
Conan, yes. Not oh man, that'd be a cool one. I barbarian and self-crime. Dude, my brother tells me, dude, that series gets buck wild. Where like,
Oh, I imagine so.
he fights aliens.
Like there's a book series, right? Or
yeah. Like my brother read the book. He's like, it starts off like he fights barbarians, and then like and other things, and then he fights like pretty much the Grim Reaper and like the undead, to the point where aliens come down and abduct him, and he just becomes best buds with them because he just murders so hard. And he's like, yep, we're hanging out now. And then it's just like, he's like, yeah, it's really cool. And I'm like, I don't understand anything you're saying. But
yeah,
okay,
it looks like Yu Yu Hakusho aired on both Toonami and on Adult Swim. So I remember it being part of the nighttime block, because I remember it also being aired around the same time as Inuyasha.
Yeah, I never watched that.
I caught bits and pieces.
Yeah, my friends would like explain like, here's not Yu Yu Hakusho, here's Inuyasha and blah blah blah. I'm like, this sounds really dumb, guys. But then again, I'm watching Ghost Boy shooting lasers.
Let's get all the ghosts.
Yep. But yeah, it's I don't know. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, if I can get a chance to talk about it, I will. But it's like, we're running short on time, so I'm not going to talk about it too much.
We'll just need an anime episode.
What?
An anime episode.
Yeah. Oh, that has to be on the list.
How have we not had that on the list yet?
Because we're bad at rolling dice for the topics we actually want.
Yeah.
It's not on here.
Wow.
We have other things. Hold on. We didn't do an anime episode, did we?
I don't think so. How about we do an anime characters one, and you can sneak in talking about Yu Yu Hakusho while talking about some of your favorite characters from the show.
Yeah.
So we can narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, good. I see the thing lit up. So now you have to type
Yes, I
it.
will type it. But go on. You can go on and explain.
But yeah, it's like it's pretty much like if people are familiar with anime or mangas on Reddit, it's not like groundbreaking in like who Yusuke is, because it's like it's I think maybe at the time it was, because it's still a very early manga and early anime,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty much like this thug that becomes a hero, and it's like and I heard that apparently they're making new episodes
Hmm.
like
I
after
can.
all this time.
Yeah, I can look into that for you. I was gonna say, I know we had mentioned Inuyasha briefly. That one, they came out with like a follow-on series. I think that just got released about their kid, something along those lines. I think I saw it getting advertised on Crunchyroll.
Hmm. Dude, Crunchyroll, they're like taking my favorite like webtoons and they're like making animes out of it. And I'm like, Crunchyroll, you may have bought yourself a subscription.
I was watching God of High School, and I don't know. I don't know if it's the structure of the show.
It's a very weird structured anime or
Yeah.
not manga. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
just like the webtoon. I don't know what it looks like on the show, but it starts off with a tournament arc, and it's like the characters are really cool. Um,
The fighting was pretty interesting, and Strider
yeah,
and I kind of got distracted when they started throwing in some of the more supernatural stuff, and we were like,
that that they as it goes on, it kind of explains it why it's there. But I
okay.
remember I'm like, why? Why is this
Suddenly?
here? Like, okay, but no, like it gets to the point where you're like, okay, and then it explains it, and then it goes to 100. Like,
Okay.
there's no chill when it comes to that. Like,
It's very
I'm in
like crazy paced.
like where I'm at the end. Like there is kind of pacing and stuff, but it gets to the point where it's just like, how character lose? Like they still good, and it's just like I think where I'm reading now, it's like the end of the series, and it's it's very much like okay, there's like two options it's gonna do now. There's either gonna be a big old retreat, and like you're gonna fight this like Omega character later, like after a training arc, or you're gonna get like some magical power. Like it, like I don't see them retreating now because it's like the stakes are way too high.
So, in my try and search to try and find if there's been like a remaking of the anime, I haven't found any luck for Yu Yu Hakusho. What I did find on IMDb is it looks like there's a version of Yu Yu Hakusho that is live action and Japanese that came out in 2020. But like, I don't know
Okay,
how
that
to
might have
feel.
been what I yeah, that might have been what I heard, but I don't know. It's definitely one of those things. Like if you look at it, it's very much like early 2000s, 90s animation.
Mm-hmm.
But I also might be old, and I really like that animation where it's not super detailed, like, but it has more detail than other stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like
There's
it's off.
definitely a weird time when animes were being made. There's like a gap of time where they were first discovering like CGI and
Yeah.
computer art. And then it was like that awkward growing phase of learning when to use that and how to use it.
And to my knowledge, there is no CGI in this anime, and I could be wrong. Like
no,
if
I no,
anything,
I'm saying that one was
yeah,
fine. Like anime of this generation, like Detective Conan and stuff, like all of it's got that same general style.
yeah,
And then like
Kenshin,
yeah,
yeah,
and then 5 to 10 years later you get like random you're like, "Oh, this looks uncomfortable. Who put this in here
yeah.
randomly?"
I heard there's an anime that came out where like everything is hand drawn except for magic, and the magic doesn't look right, but it's magic, so it in your
Shouldn't
brain
look
is like,
right.
yeah, it shouldn't look right, and it doesn't look like it belongs. But I'm like, no, that sounds really cool. Like, um, but yeah, not to go on a whole anime tangent because there's a bunch, but I'm trying to remember. There's God of High School.
Mhm.
Tower of God is another one,
Oh
which
yeah, I haven't started on that one. I've heard it's depending who I ask. I hear it's okay.
it's yeah, like it's pretty much what I would say too. It's okay. Like I think the story is really cool, and like I don't know, like I remember looking at animation for it, and it's really neat.
Okay.
But like I like the animation style they went for it because it's not like you're like you look at God of High School and the animation is very very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like the lines are clean, the action is clean from what I saw, the clips that I saw. Everyone has red noses. I don't know why, but it's just like everything in that show looks very clean. While God of Tower of God, like the art for it, like not that it's a bad thing, but it looks, for lack of a better term, muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Where like it's not the cleanest thing, but knowing how that story is told, I think like the way magic works in that world and just everything goes on, muddy, that muddiness will probably help show the effect more.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Um,
understand what you mean. Like, I watched Vinland Saga through, and
I read that.
yeah, I liked the anime adaptation, but yeah, that one, even though it is newer, it's not as clean as like God of High School. It kind of is.
Yeah.
It's not quite hand drawn, but it looks like more the details aren't just like
Mm-hmm.
shading. It's like
Yeah.
a little bit more hand drawn. I don't know, but that one, yeah,
Yeah.
that one's not clean, but it's not messy.
And I don't know. The one that I think like will buy my subscription, I think it's coming to Crunchyroll, is Solo Leveling. I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
it's called. Where pretty much it's like this guy gets the like pretty much MMO leveling up system in real life. But like the comic of that, the art is so clean and it's so like I when I read this, and I tell people to read this because I don't know how they do it. It's a combination of art and storytelling where you just like I don't get this very often, but it's like when I was reading this, I was just like getting hype and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and like I was feeling the emotion that the artist was trying to put in there and the guy's like just the intensity and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I read a lot of comics and you don't get that,
No,
like
yeah.
I don't get that a lot, and it was just like I was getting it in the thing and I was like I have to keep reading this because this is so cool. And I'm like I want to watch this. I want to like I imagine what the fight looks like, but now I want to see what it looks like, and it's just
Yeah, I
I
get
don't
you.
know, it looks cool. So but yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, good. There's ghosts, there's a ton of ghosts in it, but Yusuke, like I don't know. I like Yusuke. I like Yu Yu Hakusho. I think everyone should give it a watch. It's on something. I don't know where you can watch. It's actually on Funimation, I think.
I think
Unless it
Funimation is the one, yeah.
so
I
which
think
actually Funimation has got a lot of stuff on there
yeah,
now.
I think pretty much anything you would watch you would have wanted to watch like on Toonami, I think is owned by Funimation, right?
Probably. I don't know where Kenshin stands.
Okay.
Oh no, Kenshin growing up, that's all I watched was Kenshin and Yu Yu Hakusho. But but yeah. That's all
Yeah.
we have about ghosts. And guys, before Hop yells at me, no quiz. No quiz today.
Yeah, no quiz today. We went off on many a tangent, which I didn't expect to because I feel like I didn't have a lot planned to talk about ghosts. But I guess that's what happened when like we always just branch off into other forms of communication. But yeah, we would appreciate it if you gave us a heads up either on our Twitter page, twitter.com/pointlessdisco, if you prefer tangents or quizzes. Because I know, some of you hang out in the live audience and you guys like doing quizzes with us there. But we've noticed
Maybe what we could do is that quizzes are for live participants only,
to encourage you guys to come join us in the live audience.
but also listen to the podcast because we need those numbers to get up a little bit higher for us to do something. We need numbers to go up a little bit higher for anything that we want to do with this. But yeah, go share with your friend or your enemies. We'll take both.
But yes, no, we always appreciate you guys for listening. Again, we would appreciate that. Another thing we would appreciate is if you share us on social media, if you take a screenshot and send it our way, or if you tag us on Twitter and we catch it, we'll be sure to let you guys know that we'll be giving you a nice little shout out in the beginning of our podcast during our announcement section. We've done it before in the past and we can do it again. Reviews and ratings, we're trying to check things like iTunes more often to see if we get any ratings or reviews there, so we would be able to thank you during the podcast during that. And
Oh wait, there was an announcement, a different announcement that we said we'd say at the end of the show.
yes.
All right. So guys, as you know, Hop and I, we do other things besides just stream the podcast. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we Hop and I, along with two other streamers currently, I don't know if there will be others joining later, we are going to be streaming Betrayal on a House, no, Betrayal at a House on a Hill, or Betrayal for short. It's
yes, the board game.
Yes, it's a board game, Halloween-esque. If anyone remembers last year when we played it, I messed up the rules and, well, let's just say a friendship was born.
Should I know last year when we played it, I had my part of a Halloween getup on. Should I keep that going every year? Should I show up? So if anyone is
this is going to be more than just this year now. She said every year, so we're doing it every year. No, it's up to you.
Yeah, so any of you listening to the audio, if you're interested in what it looks like when I attempt cosplay,
look at her Twitter.
Oh yeah, that does too.
Okay. For real, when you posted the picture, I immediately thought, I was like, is she choking? Like, 'cause I forgot it was a live post, and I'm like, can she breathe? Is she okay? Like, are you okay? And then I was like, oh, okay, yes, it's art.
I was purple.
Yes. And then immediately after my brain registered that, my brain said, Violet, you're turning violet.
Yes. But yeah, I'll leave it a surprise as to what I show up as. I think DPayne probably remembers what I was last year, because it's a running joke that I made children cry when they came to trick or treat.
It was a good old time.
And yeah, so keep tuned for that next Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time.
If you guys watch the podcast live, it will be a couple hours after we finish the podcast, because we go eat dinners.
And breathe a little bit.
Some of us fall asleep and wake up too late.
Hit me. I'm addicted to napping. Don't mind me. But yeah, again, other things you could do. If you ever want to see us live or anything like that, we'll make sure to have links in the description for you guys to find us. DPayne and I do stream a variety of games throughout the week, and if you ever want to participate in the live audience, we air these Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah.
Y'all do the math on your own time, because we don't know who you are.
Yeah, according to our audience statistics, you guys are all over the world, which is fun and exciting.
And then, I don't know, we want to plug another random thing. You guys want to see a podcast without the podcast? Come on Tuesday nights, because we played Teamfight Tactics.
We just blurred out a bunch of stuff. Oh, what we didn't mention yet is our next week's topic. You kind of hinted at it earlier.
Yes. Zombies. I saw that you pointing like on the stream. Like, are you telling me to? Well,
I was looking at it. I was like pulling up the spreadsheet again.
I remembered it. It was zombies. So we're gonna be talking about zombies, the zomberts. Ooh, I just thought, okay. There's a lot of zombie things. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun old time. We went from bloodsuckers to airwalkers to Angus Ghost. Angus Ghost now. How does Avatar even work? That's a different subject.
Lots of ghosts in one man. It's like My Hero Academia. All the powers, one man.
I think my favorite thing that I heard about Avatar was like Yang's like, don't want to kill, and all the ghosts like, yeah, super kill him, dude.
But before another tangent is born.
Yes. Thanks for all for watching. Bye-bye.